for doing our work came from the public taxpayer, not from industry. This most recent round, there's a good chunk of money coming in from industry. The Dannon Institute, for this case, that's the dairy industry group. Very powerful dairy industry group. I mean, they kind of have an interest to get the protein up there so they can justify recommending more dairy consumption. International Life Science Institute sounds really grandiose, doesn't it? That's the coalition of soft drink companies. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, things like that. They kind of have an interest in getting sugar intake up there, right? Corporate Donors Fund, a bunch of food and drug companies. It's almost like, here's a group of companies in there wanting to promote sickness so that the next two companies here can put out the drugs to make us well. And I didn't tell you the bottom one, the bottom two. There's one more down here called M&M Mars. You've probably heard of that. And the last one is academic charlatans. They didn't list academic charlatans. That's my... But that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where the problem is, I have to tell you. These committees these days are now being put together. These sort of expert panels are being put together by some person in academia with a so-called distinguished name who is a consultant with industry. They go to Washington. They play a role in choosing who the members of the committee are going to be. And I can tell you their interest is not in the interest of public health. Their interest is to make sure that, they're who's holding their right hand or left hand, is kept happy. And unfortunately, I would say I'd like to think 99%. That's my experience of all scientists are really very honorable, hard-working people, really doing the best they can to try to, under the circumstances. The system, unfortunately, it's the system. It's not the individuals. It's not the dishonesty of the individuals. It's the system within which we live, how funds get dispensed, how we get promotions in terms of being able to do things. It's the system that's at fault here, together with just a handful of these so-called charlatans. Some of my colleagues will go and do that kind of thing and set policy. And so much of the information that we get, is troubling and confusing and damaging because of the way policy is set. We've detailed this, as some of you may know, in this book that I just did with my son, Tom. Tom, by the way, did a degree, and some people wonder why he was involved. He was involved as a true co-author, I have to tell you. He graduated from Cornell University in theater and was an aspiring actor. In fact, he was in Chicago. He's doing very well and all that. He decided to come back and help me write. And he did that very well. He got very excited about it. Now he's going off to medical school, by the way. Giving up acting. Maybe he'll be an actor in medical school. I don't know. But anyhow, we detailed in the book a lot of these arguments, a lot more than I've told here. And I actually want to, and it's based on as much, firsthand evidence as best as I can recall it. Also based on my own personal experiences as much as possible. And I want to now write another book that's more provocative, because I'm not sure that this is really going to do the job. So thank you very much.